anything that's important in life, your health, your wealth, your relationships. We have a concept in the book that we call hitting singles versus swinging for the home runs. Small habits over a long period of time is where the magic happens in just about everything. Right? Like you might hit a home run in crypto and put money into some stupid altcoin, meme coin, shit coin, Trump coin, whatever it is. Yeah. And the pump and dumps and make a ton of money. But dude, that's not a strategy. The strategy is, how can I create a habit that long term makes a difference in my life? It's not about swinging hard for home runs. It just is not a feasible option for you and your family. Warning, this podcast may cause excessive dad jokes, sudden bursts of motivation, and the irresistible urge to high-five yourself.
Welcome to the Daddius Project, where we help dads master the biggest and messiest project of your life, dadhood.
I'm Scott Vatcher, recovering perfectionist, dad of one teenage girl, and a guy who once didn't sleep for 6 months straight.
And I'm Evan Hill, professional chaos coordinator, dad of 3 teenagers, and living proof that duct tape can fix a sippy cup temporarily.
Each week, we'll hit you with real talk, dad hacks, and the kind of inspiration that doesn't require matching socks.
Ready to level up? Let's build this dad life together.
Yo, Dad.
Yo. What's up?
So, I was at the grocery store the other day, and I bought a couple of things. I bought an apple, a banana, and a dozen eggs. And the teller said, "Wow, you must be single." I said, "Huh? How'd you know that?" And he said, "'Cause you're ugly."
Mean.
It's pretty mean, isn't it?
That's mean, yeah.
It's very mean. But it's a great segue into today's topic, which is what we call prosperity, P4. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about you, Ev. I think it's a worldwide phenomenon. Ever since COVID, this money's gone bananas. Like the inflation rates have been so crazy. Like a dozen eggs over here has gone like quadrupled or something in the last few years. Has that happened there as well?
Well, I'm in Costa Rica now. Eggs have definitely gone up, but it's definitely a lot less than in Canada. Like if you want to get a dozen pasture raised eggs, it's going to be about $10 Canadian. How about you?
I'll honestly.
Do you do any shopping?
Exactly. Oh, there you go. I was just going to say, over here in Australia, there was an election recently, and they were doing a debate, and the leader of one of the two parties, it's bipartisan over here basically as well, right? It's like one or the other, and there's like 50 other parties that have no chance of doing anything, and the leader of one of the parties, like I believe he lost based on this. And he said something along the lines of, don't quote me guys from Australia if I get this wrong, but something like they were doing a debate. And he said, and yeah, a dozen eggs, it's like, isn't it like $2-3 these days? And it just showed how like he has no idea what's going on. Like a dozen eggs, like, I don't know. If you want a free range pasture, it's probably, and again, I'm not the shopper, so I don't know, but yeah, $12-15 something. It's a lot. And they've put limits on the eggs.
Oh.
So you can only buy 2 dozen.
Because it's so healthy. Right. It's such a healthy food. That's why. Make sure everybody's dying.
Well, I said to pay... what?
Just well enough to work and pay taxes, but that's it.
Well,
Anyway, go ahead.
I was with a patient the other day, and we were talking something about nutrition. And I said, "Listen, if there's two things that have been demonized more than anything, it's been like avocados and eggs." And it goes back and forth. It's like they're superfood. They're the worst thing
Yeah.
for you. They're superfood. They're the worst thing for you. And I said, I'd like, well, I don't know about like to actually do the experiment, but I would say the most like just overall best food that you could probably just literally eat that and live a healthy life is eggs. Like if you just
Yeah, I
ate
agree.
eggs all day, every
Yeah.
day, you
Yeah.
would probably be like ridiculously strong and fit and healthy. Maybe you'd need to take a few micronutrients or something that isn't in there, but yeah,
You'd be pretty solid.
I
Eggs is
think
good.
so. Eggs is good. But we're not talking about eggs today. We're talking about prosperity.
We're talking about
P4.
prosperity.
We're talking about money, 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 money.
Show me the money.
I should watch that again. My daughter has, like, she's grown up. She's 15 now. And so we can start watching good movies. And so we started rewatching the Mission Impossible series. And she just friggin' loves it.
So,
For all of Tom Cruise's potential faults, and I don't know anything. I don't really try and prescribe to anything people say about people because I don't know him. I don't know the dude. But man, he's a good actor. He got
let's
some
just
good
leave it at
movies.
that. Let's just
Yeah,
leave it at
that's
that because
that,
that's all we
that's
know
what
him
he's there
for.
for.
What he's yeah, and
Yeah,
all the stuff
I don't
that
care
all the
what else he
stuff
does. Who
anything
cares?
else that
I
we're
mean,
shown, anything else we're shown, who knows?
who
But
knows?
what he's doing on
And
film,
that's right. He's
he's good.
phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Do you know he does his own stunts?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know there's a stunt in one of the Mission Impossibles where he jumps from one building to the next and breaks his ankle, finishes the scene,
Yeah. It's
and
awesome.
doesn't like nobody knows except him
No,
that he broke
and
his ankle.
and we just watched that movie the other day with my daughter, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Watch! Oh, here it comes! Here it comes! Here it comes! He broke his leg there."
Yeah.
It's like that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass, man.
And
Anyways,
he's talking about jumping on the plane and he's holding on, and I think it's the new one that's coming out, and he's like literally holding on to the plane that's flying, and he's talking about the force of the air. And I'm like, wait a second here. like like this is just so absurd that he's even attempting this
yeah,
and talking about
and
how hard it was to hold on.
and he's 65,
Yeah.
66 or something now. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude's getting up there, still doing
He's
his
getting
own
up there.
stunts. So
He's doing his
regardless
own
of
stunts.
the other shit, man, I give him props for that, and I give him
Yeah.
props because between this new Mission Impossible and the latest Top Gun, talk about
Still
prosperity.
still killing
Bam,
it.
hundreds of millions, killing
Yeah.
it. Good on him.
Killing it. So, prosperity. I think this is the P this is P4 out of the P6. I think it's the one that most dads have on their radar as the one that they really got to be good at.
What's
And it's
the?
interesting. Yep.
It's the word is escaping me at the moment. It's like the quintessential dad, right? The provider. We
Provider.
used I think we used to call prosperity providing. I think that was
Yeah.
and we reiterated to prosperity because we wanted to look at it as a much bigger picture than that because it is way bigger than that. It's a mindset, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the first piece, understanding our money mindset and where our a little bit about our money bucket. Because if we have holes in the bottom of our money bucket, which are disempowering and beliefs, and we're pouring water in, or like in other words, money into the bucket, it's just gonna come through the bucket and be gone. And so we talk a lot about this. And I was reviewing the book, so I've got my copy here. Very excited. So yeah, got it brought to me in Costa Rica. So excited to have it. And I was reviewing it, And we asked dads to do the Daddius score at the beginning of reading the book. And I think most dads are probably going to go into the P4 prosperity doing the Daddius score thinking they're going to just rock it. And I was looking at those questions, and I think the idea of making money is just like one very small element of prosperity. It's actually a very, very small element. And and I think as men, as dads, we put a lot of emphasis on how much money we're making. And it's such a small part. Yes, making money is important, but the other elements that are involved in the Daddiest score, that's what's going to create that financial wall around your family that nobody can knock down. The one that's going to allow you the freedom to make decisions, to make moves that other people can't. And you don't have to be making extraordinary amounts of money to create that. But it has a lot to do with what you're doing with it, how you're thinking about it, um, what you're doing with it, how you're thinking about it, and the strategies that you're putting in place. So you're not doing what most people are doing, which is working at a job, paying taxes, and not leveraging. Because the idea is if we don't find a way to leverage, we're never going to stop working. We'll never have the freedom to stop. And so that leverage element is another key piece to the prosperity.
Yeah, I think leverage is the key, and
Yeah.
figuring out ways to get your money to work for you, and figuring out great ways to utilize a tax situation. Because, I did a real estate seminar on the weekend, just this past weekend, because I'm constantly trying to upgrade my knowledge and wisdom around money and how to utilize it. And so we talk about the different aspects of how to make money. We go into just being straight employee, being self-employed, business, real estate, investing, and multi-level marketing, because Ev is involved in isogenics and loves the product. He's been doing it for 10, 15, 20, I don't know, bloody long time.
20 years.
Long,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go, long time. So he's not in it. So don't hate Ev, because multi-level marketing has a lot of, a lot of connotations around it. But it is a great product. I've used it in the past. But yeah, so those are the different aspects that we dive deep into the book. Like, we actually had to cut that chapter back. It is by far the longest chapter in the book. But we just really dive deep into it, looking at different strategies, different implications around it. Super important to understand that stuff and to realize that whatever position you're in, because dads out there listening now, some will be, like you said earlier, killing it in this space or thinking that they are. But there's a lot right now struggling, like literally paycheck to paycheck. Can't even imagine the idea of trying to have my money work for me because every cent is gone. And I think a big part comes back to, like you said, leverage. But even before that is priority. What is your priority, right? Because looking at a budget and looking to see exactly what you spend your money on, and small tweaks will make the biggest difference long term, right? So I know it seems ridiculous, but let's just talk like some little tiny bits of money. You're paycheck to paycheck, you barely got anything left over, but you're buying a case of beer a week, as an example. Or you smoke. That's a huge one. That there's literally nothing good about smoking, and in all reality, there's nothing good about drinking. And we talked about, we're going to go deep into that. I still have booze, but I dramatically cut back, and I believe you have too, Ev. But it's looking at priorities and realizing where you want to be now and where you want to be in the future. Because if you can change your priority and squirrel away a tiny bit of money and just put it into some investment account. You know, and I'm not talking about a savings account at the bank that gives you 1% interest, even though inflation's 3%. So you literally cash the money out. But like, you know, dollar cost averaging in the market, right? Things like that, where it's something you can put in the minuscule amount of money. And if you do it for long enough, the numbers are staggering. And I have a great guest. I had him on one of my other podcasts. So we're going to definitely get him on. He's a money guy, and man, he's got his own podcast. Can't remember what it's called now, but we'll get him on, and he's brilliant. He discusses how small changes can make a huge difference over time.
Yeah, you're talking about the paycheck to paycheck experience. Making money, but just not enough to really get ahead. And then there's the other side where guys making like loads of cash but paying loads of taxes and has increased his lifestyle and has no way out. Like he's running on that hamster wheel, keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
And and he's just, and that's like a prison in itself. So, Scott, I mean, you nailed it. It's the leverage. Key is leverage. And
You
the other
nailed it,
key,
actually. You brought up leverage, and then I said you nailed it, and you said I nailed it. So we both
thanks,
nailed it.
dude. We're
Yeah.
crushing it. Okay. We should build a house. We do really good. Bang,
We would.
bang, bang, bang. Yeah. But the idea that is really important is to increase our quality of life with money that we are leveraging. So we make our money at our career or profession, whatever it may be, and we funnel that into something that is leveraging and working for us. And we use that money to increase our lifestyle. So it's leveraged money that increases our lifestyle. And that is what creates freedom. If we just spend the money that we have on frivolous things, buying whatever, it could be vacations, new car, like 20,000 pairs of shoes, like who knows what people spend money on, but people go down a rabbit's hole and they've got to have all the new gadgets and all the new stuff, and that's going to end up having a big impact later on in life versus taking the money and putting it towards something that's going to make money for you. And then from there, you use that money to increase your lifestyle. That's the recipe for freedom. We go into, as Scott mentioned, we go into different ways of making money and some of the ways that you can create leverage, and what are the different aspects of those different ways of making money that you need to consider. What are some of the advantages of the different ones? He mentioned network marketing, also known as MLM. Rightfully so. It has a lot of stigma because there's a lot of companies out there that have just closed their doors overnight, and people that have spent 10 years building a company and boom, it's gone. Or they just go about it the wrong way, and they create
Or you get involved in crypto ones, and they're total scams.
total scams.
Done that one.
Yeah.
Been there, done
There
that,
you
got
go.
the t-shirt.
That's
Twice.
right. So now you get to associate crypto and MLM as scams at the same time. It's beautiful, right? Boom. But like, it's not necessarily that both are scams. It's just the way they were combined, was a scam. If you just take Bitcoin by itself and you put money into Bitcoin, it's going to be there.
Especially if you put it in at the peak of its market and then pull it out at the bottom again, hey, Ev?
Oh yeah, that's a good strategy too.
Yeah, that's a great strategy.
Yeah.
We've done it all, folks. We've done some good things with our money, and we've done some poor things. We've learned, and over the next however many hundreds of episodes we have, we will impart more and more knowledge, and our fuck ups too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All comes with being in the game.
Yes.
On that note, So I had bought. I was that guy who bought Bitcoin during the huge craze the first time that it peaked, and I think it was like $20,000 per Bitcoin at the time, which was a lot of money for me. So I ended up buying two Bitcoins, and then right away it just started to plummet. But initially it had gone up a little bit, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing really good here, doing really good. And so I started buying like some alternative coins and switching out of Bitcoin and so on. And because the altcoins were going up really, really fast, and then all of it just tanked, and my 40 grand went to 4 grand, and it was like,
Hmm.
whoa. And I didn't sell it, I kept it. And and recently it's been going up, and altcoins are still not even close to performing as well as Bitcoin for the most part. And I didn't really have much Bitcoin. But what was interesting is the company that I had my coin with just vanished. So there's a
I don't
lesson.
even know if I don't even know if I knew this.
Yeah, it just happened. I get a
Just
message, and
happened.
it's in receivership, and I'm like, how is this possible? I have my wallet with this company, and it just vanishes. So
What
where
was
we
the
hold
company?
our, this is the problem with it was called, well, actually, Canada changed the rules. So I originally had mine with Bitrix,
Okay.
and Canada changed a bunch of rules around that and forced the movement out of that into a company that was recommended. And so I just accepted that, and it just moved everything for me. And I thought, okay, that's good. That's easy. I'll do that. And then I've just been watching it and holding on to it. And then poof, just like that, it's gone. And it's like,
Oh.
how can a company who's holding my money just vanish? Just kind of like a bank. A bank that's holding your money just vanishes. And that's
Mm.
possible. So, I mean, these are considerations when it comes to how you hold your capital. If it's if it's cryptocurrency or even cash, how you're holding your money matters, and putting it in a place that's the safe as possible, and having backups on that if you are doing investing. But crypto is definitely a very risky space. It's an extremely risky space, for the reason I just shared with you, but also the volatility of that market is absolutely astronomical. Obviously, over time, Bitcoin has shown that it's growing, which is great, but it can
Not
change
for the
overnight.
faint-hearted.
You got to be willing to lose that money. Let's just put it that way. If you're going to go into cryptocurrency, you have to be willing to lose it. Okay. So we didn't actually go into detail in the book about cryptocurrency, because it is such a, I mean, it does fall under the investing side of things. um, and you can treat it that way. And we do a chapter, we do a chapter on investing. My personal preference with wealth creation, and Scott has dove into this substantially, is real estate investing. And the other one for me actually has been the network marketing. And I'll talk more about that in other episodes, and I'll explain why. But real estate investing has been definitely by far the best avenue for me.
And for me too. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's really about longevity, right? There's a old saying that says something. Don't let me. I'm gonna butcher this. What does it say? Um, Time in the market beats timing the market. So there's no best time, right? Oh, I'm gonna wait for this uh, housing bubble to burst and then I'll buy. It's like timing the market is impossible. Nobody does it well, and that's where things like dollar cost averaging and just putting a bit of money in every month. Because if there's one thing that I'm learning as I get wiser slash older, is that really anything that's important in life, your health, your wealth, your relationships. We have a concept in the book that we call hitting singles versus swinging for the home runs. And I think we talk about that in the relationships or the passion side of things. But it's true in everything, right? Small habits over a long period of time is where the magic happens in just about everything, right? Like you might hit a home run in crypto and put money into some stupid altcoin, meme coin, shit coin, Trump coin, whatever it
Yeah.
is. And the pump and dumps and make a ton of money. But dude, that's not a strategy. The strategy is, how can I create a habit that long term makes a difference in my life? It's not about swinging hard for home runs. It just is not a feasible option for you and your family in most cases. And then the other side we go deep to in prosperity is making sure your ducks are in a row, right? Having those things set up properly, having a strategy for your money, having a will, having a nest egg for if something goes wrong, particularly if, but not even in all reality, it's if you're employee or self-employed, something goes to shit, making sure you've got some kind of little nest egg. And again, that might not happen overnight, but if you squirrel away a bit of money over a period of time, you're going to have that little nest egg ready for you. Have some kind of liquid assets that you can have available if and when needed.
Yeah, that's so important. That one. One of the guys on in my leadership group, he just told me that his company, massive company, like 5,000 people, just went on strike.
Oh
And
shit.
yeah, and so yeah, they're all employees. His number one strategy for making money is his job. That's it. And thankfully, he had set aside money, saving money. He calculates how much he's saved every single month. He has a goal as to how much he puts away, and then every month he's diligent, and he shares that with the group how much he's saved. And then, sure enough, bam, there's a strike, and
So
everybody is
sorry,
freaking out. Hmm?
does he is he an employee in this company, or does he own
He's
the
he,
company?
he's an employee in the company.
Okay. I
Yeah,
thought you meant he
yeah.
was the owner of it. No, okay.
So he's got this money saved up, and he doesn't ever believe that he's going to have to use it. And then all of a sudden, bam, the strike happens. And he comes to the call and he's like, guys, I'm going to be okay, but I haven't slept in 3 days because I'm aware, like, okay, I think I'm going to be okay, but this is it. Like, this is my savings. This is what I've saved up in case this happens. And now I'm going to start eating it out. Like, I'm going to start going into it and using it. And he's going to watch that safety net go down. Well, thank God he had it. Okay, so the
Mm.
perspective is like, thank goodness for your discipline that you're in that position where you're able to feed your family still, versus the other guy who was buying frivolous things and not thinking about that. The big difference between those two levels of stress, right?
Well, and I'm
Imagine
sure he has mates at that job, at that workplace, that did not do what he did and are in a
totally.
world of hurt right
And
now.
they're in a world of hurt, and they're relying on that strike pay, $100 strike pay or whatever they get each day, right? And so, and on that call, he said, I've been giving things a lot of thought, and I need other ways to generate income now. I'm
Mm.
realizing, and he said, I've been listening to you guys, week after week after week about all the different ways that you guys are making money. And he's like, I need to pull the trigger on something. And he has things that he can do. He has a cottage, but he doesn't rent it out. And I was like, listen, man, in 2 days you could be up and running and renting that cottage with Airbnb, and I can show you how to do that and leverage. He's got the asset right there. He's just not thinking from that side of things. And so
Hmm.
this book is going to help you see the options that you have available to you and help you find ways to save on paying the taxes that you're paying on your employment income. That's another thing. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep and
Hmm.
what you do with what you keep. So if someone says to me I make $600,000, I'm like, good for you. Like that means nothing because you could be in a position that you're so stuck in your life running on the treadmill that you have no way out and you're so stressed out that 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 you feel like you're in a prison because government's taking half of that. You might have a massive mortgage and two or three car payments and who knows what else you've got. And then at the end of the day, you got nothing left, you know? But if you have something that's going to save you taxes on that 600, so government's only taking say 150 or 200 of that versus half, and you're funneling that into an income producing asset that's creating this other stream of income that's continuing. The idea is that if this is your income here and you start off with no residual income in your life, you want to just keep increasing that income up until it surpasses your expenses. And then once it surpasses your expenses, that residual income, you're free, baby. And that, when someone says they're making 600 grand, but they could stop working tomorrow, that is that's the magic sauce right there.
Yeah, we got to keep in mind appearances are deceiving, right? That
Yeah.
example you just used, like the dude is making 600 grand, he's got the big house, he's got the two nice cars, he's got this, he's got that. But he's living
Mm-hmm.
paycheck to paycheck because of his
Mm-hmm.
expenses and taxes and all of that stuff. It's super important to realize that, the grass is not always greener. I mean, sometimes
No.
it is greener, but like sometimes
But
it's not. And so
mm-hmm.
stick to your lane. And in one of the chapters, we talk about monkey see, monkey do, emulate
Mm-hmm.
greatness, right? And that what that means is learn from others, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
your buddy there who's got an asset there that's sitting there that you've done Airbnb and you've been very successful at it. So he should emulate your greatness and just do what you say, right? So there's so much out there in the way of podcasts, podcast it is, free resources, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. So no excuse of even saying, oh, I can't afford this money seminar because there's way lots on the internet. Now you got to vet it. You got to make sure it's the right thing. Talk to others. Form an accountability group. We're big on that inside the book for many different aspects, but money's a big one. And yeah, just get your shit in order. Like that's the big one, right? It could be if you're listening right now and you just go, oh man, these guys are full of shit. They're in such a good position. They're just talking about, out of their ass, whatever. It's like, well, yeah, it could feel that way, but it's about baby steps. Anything to do with having a great life and becoming Daddius is about small steps over time. It's not about overwhelming yourself. Take the small steps, move forward, and yeah, that's my final thoughts on prosperity. What about you, Ev?
Yeah, I think yeah, that idea of if anyone thinks like, oh, these guys are, I can't relate or whatever, like they sound like they have it all together. Um, yeah, like I started from nothing, really. Like I came from a, broken family. My mom was, raising us, my sister and I, and she had no money for anything extra except food on the plate. And, like I was the worst dressed kid in school by far.
Oh,
I
we
was
might talk about that at
participating,
some point.
I was participating, I was participating only in the school sports because they were free. And to buy toys, I was doing odd jobs. I was picking beer bottles out of the garbage because uh, we were in the Kawartha Lakes area when I was growing up, and so the boats would come through, and people on boats, they party all the time, and they dump all their beer bottles into the trash cans, and so I'd go and grab those bottles and get the money for them. that was how I was paying for toys, you know? So like came from very humble beginnings and really, the other point that you made, Scott, is, when somebody like myself, I have this experience of what it's like to really have very little money in my life. And I've worked really hard and I've learned from a lot of people. And one of the things that I've learned is that people that have achieved success in a particular area of prosperity, um, they they tend to be very willing to share with somebody who is also trying to make their life better. And I have done that multiple times where I've seen somebody doing what I hope to do, and I asked them if they could help me like learn how they did it, and they took the time, and I followed what they said, and I had success. I attribute I attribute my success to those people that shared with me. It wasn't anything outstanding that I did that I invented. It was really just either talking to somebody that had met in my life that had already done it and I asked them to help me, or I read a book from somebody who had already done it. And it's incredible that you can buy like our books, what, 22.95, you can be and you can have like an amazing experience of a dad
Available
from
on Amazon right now.
yeah, that's the US price. Um, but like I remember there was a book I bought. It was Real Estate Investing in Canada by Don Campbell. And that book, it was under $30. And I bought four properties in less than 5 years using those strategies. And I had no money to start with pretty much. It was like I had an initial investment of 25 grand. That's all I had. And I did it in less than 5 years. And it was because of that book. I followed it to a T and it was less than $30. So, you know, we're definitely not in a lack of information age. We're not in a
Mm.
lack of resources age. This has so much to do with what we talked about at the very beginning of this, and that is around our mindset. And the most important thing that I did, and there's an exercise in one of the chapters, is I wrote a statement about what I was going to achieve and by when. It comes from Napoleon Hill's book, and it's genius to have this. And I wrote this statement out, having absolutely no idea what that was going to look like as far as how I was going to achieve it. Like I didn't have an action plan set out. I just had, this is what I'm going to achieve. This is the value I'm going to create in the world that's going to attract that money. And I put it down, and that's a big part of it is getting that mindset established, and really putting it out there what your vision is, and then just like continuing to work on it. So that's what we're here for with Daddius, is to help all of you get that dialed in. So definitely start off with the Daddius score. Go to daddius.com, do your Daddius score. Look closely at what you're scoring in each one. Get the book, and you'll see that you can download the workbook that goes with it, and join us and get going with us and rock it out with prosperity to the point that you have the freedom to, if you need to, move countries or walk away from your job or take your family on a vacation or whatever it may be without putting it on the credit card. That is what we're here for, guys. So we are looking forward to linking arms with you. We're all trying to achieve Daddiest status, although none of us were ever going to make it. We're all trying to get there. Scott and I are still trying to get there.
So I'd
And
love
yeah,
to hear from the listeners with a dad poll. Dad poll, put it in the comments. Um, where are you when it comes to prosperity? Are you paycheck to paycheck? Are you making enough money but don't know what to do with that money? Don't know how to utilize it properly? Um, are you making tons of money? Are you killing it in prosperity? Do you have all your foundations set up? Do you have a will? Are you set up properly? So how can we structure this like A, B, C kind of thing?
yeah. I mean, let's we got to simplify this.
That's what I mean. I know. I was like, let's do the comments thing and this and this and this. Like, no, that's not going to work. So,
Yeah.
A is struggling like week to week, paycheck to paycheck. B is doing okay, but would like to do better. And C is killing it. Just curious for the dads out there.
Killing it means you can walk away from your job because you set yourself up with leverage. Killing it is not making $500,000 a year. Okay, just to be clear. I think so. A, paycheck to paycheck, nothing left at the end of the day. B, doing really great, making lots of money, but no leverage. C, you can walk away from your job, move countries, do whatever you want. Okay, that's killing it. So A, B, or C. This is not about like, showing off or anything like that. It's just feedback.
No, I'm just straight up curious because we can have a bit more focus on that stuff depending on what the listeners want to hear.
Exactly. It's all about figuring out where we are on the map. It's like getting our coordinates, and then once we have our coordinates, it's like, okay, where do we want to go? And we're here to help. So yeah, let's get her done.
Because if you're like B or C, you can go to Costco and buy a coffin. Did you know that? I was at Costco the other day, and the dude tried to sell me a coffin. I said, man, that's the last thing I need.
On that note, we'll see you for the next episode where we talk about P5, passion. See you there, guys.
Have a good one. Bye. That's another episode in the books, dads. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was dadhood.
True story. For more tools to build your best dad life, grab our book, The Daddius Project, or join us at daddius.com.
And hey, if you learned one thing today, you're already winning. Even if that one thing was never trust a 3-year-old with glitter.
Words to live by. Now go forth and dad like a pro.